Hello everyone.
In this video, we're going to be covering creating folder structures uh, and information architecture for your asset library. So within the Finder, we're going to click on Assets. And one thing to point out, there's going to be two folders that are created automatically by default. And that's going to be the Forms folder as well as the Uploads folder. Now, to build out your asset library, a lot of times as a convention, if you have multiple sites, you would create a parent folder for each site so that the assets for one are segmented.
So if we would like, we could do that just as a way to keep everything organized. Alternatively, you can say if you have one site, you can build folders based on each section. Now to create new folders is done by clicking this icon here and just enter the name. Now a lot of times it's helpful if you have assets that are on the template level or that are shared throughout the entire site. Sometimes it's a good idea to make a shared folder that would house all the assets, and then within this site you could maybe break it down by section. That's one good way to do it. Another good way to further define this is maybe by content type, maybe images, documents, things like that. Now to return back to the parent, so say if we want to create another folder within About Us, we would just simply single click on About Us, and now if we create a new folder, it's going to be within the About Us folder. Now this folder structure is by no means set in stone. If you want to rearrange this at any time, you simply can click on a selected folder, hold it, and drag over another folder, and you'll see its destination will be highlighted in green. So that's basically building out the folder structure. Then at this point, either using the bulk upload gadget or by manual creation, you can populate these with assets. So to create an asset one by one, we would click on this icon. And you'll see here there's a multitude of asset types. Now a lot of these are pre-configured content for widgets, say for instance a blog post or an event, a form, page auto list, image auto list, things like that. If you have an auto list that shows recent news, and it's configured the same way and it's going to be on multiple pages, it would make sense to create this as a shared asset, and that way simply you would just drag it onto the pages you need. You wouldn't have to reconfigure the widget each time. The other asset types are basically dependent on what the content is. For example, a file, that would be, for say any PDF file, a Word document, things like that. Similarly, image. So let's say we want to upload an image. We would select that and click Next. Here's where we can enter the title text. Is what a tooltip. As the user hover over the image, this will this is what displayed. Alt text is a good idea too for accessibility. And then simply let us browse the file system. Alternatively, you can enter a post date as well as some other metadata here. It's a good, this is a good point to point out. It's a good idea, especially if you're an admin, to get in the habit of approving assets as they're created. Uh, it saves a little bit of time afterwards, going back and having to reapprove them. So at that point, it is a good idea to move it into pending state. So now you see we have our asset within the images folder that's within About Us. Now, just like folders, if we want to move this image to somewhere else, we can simply click on it and drag it over another folder, and that asset gets moved. So it's very easy to rearrange this structure as you go. It gives you some flexibility. And that'll conclude the video on this series. I thank you for watching.